disgrace. So when he would meet one of his cousins dancing down the Lone Little Path, with his long, slim, tapering tail behind him, Danny Meadow Mouse would slip out of sight under the long grass, he was so ashamed of his own little tail. It looked so mean and small. He had wondered and wondered if the Meadow Mice had always had short tails. He used to ask everyone who came his way if they had ever seen a Meadow Mouse with a long tail, but he had never found anyone who had. "Perhaps," thought Danny Meadow Mouse as he hurried down the Lone Little Path, "perhaps Grandfather Frog, who is very wise, will know why my tail is short." So he hurried this way and he hurried that way over the Green Meadows in search of fat, foolish green flies. And when he had caught 3, he caught one more for good measure. Then he started for the Smiling Pool as fast as his short legs would take him. When finally he reached the edge of the Smiling Pool he was quite out of breath. There sat Great Grandfather Frog on his big green lily pad. He was blinking his great goggle eyes at jolly, round, red Mr. Sun. "Oh, Grandfather Frog," said Danny Meadow Mouse in a very small voice, for you know he was quite out of breath with running. "Oh, Grandfather Frog, I've brought you 4 fat, foolish green flies." Grandfather Frog put a hand behind an ear and listened. "Did I hear someone say 'foolish green flies'?" asked Grandfather Frog. "Yes, Grandfather Frog, here they are," said Danny Meadow Mouse, still in a very small voice. Then he gave Grandfather Frog the 4 fat, foolish green flies. "What is it that you want me to do for you, Danny Meadow Mouse?" asked Grandfather Frog as he smacked his lips, for he knew that Danny Meadow Mouse must want something to bring him 4 fat, foolish green flies. "If you please," said Danny Meadow Mouse very politely. "If you please, Grandfather Frog, old Mr. Toad told me that you could tell me how Grandfather Meadow Mouse 1,000 times removed lost half of his tail. Will you, Grandfather Frog? Will you?" "Chug-a-rum," said Grandfather Frog. "My cousin, Mr. Toad, talks too much." But he settled himself comfortably on the big lily pad, and this is what he told Danny Meadow Mouse. "Once upon a time, when the world was young, Mr. Meadow Mouse, your grandfather 1,000 times removed, was a very fine gentleman. He took a great deal of pride in his appearance, did Mr. Meadow Mouse, and they used to say on the Green Meadows that he spent an hour, a full hour every day, combing his whiskers and brushing his coat. Anyway, he was very fine to look upon, was Mr. Meadow Mouse, and not the least attractive thing about him was his beautiful, long, slim tail, of which he was very proud. Now about this time there was a great deal of trouble on the Green Meadows and in the Green Forest, for someone was stealing. Yes, stealing. Mr. Rabbit complained first. To be sure, Mr. Rabbit was lazy, and his cabbage patch had grown little more than weeds while he had been minding other folks' affairs rather than his own, but then that was no reason why he should lose half of the little which he did raise. And that is just what he said had happened. No one really believed what Mr. Rabbit said, for he had such a bad name for telling things which were not so, that when he did tell the truth no one could be quite sure of it. So no one paid much heed to what Mr. Rabbit said until Happy Jack Squirrel one day went to his snug little hollow in the big chestnut tree where he stores his nuts and discovered half had been stolen. Then Striped Chipmunk lost the greater part of his winter store of corn. A fat trout was stolen from Billy Mink. It was a terrible time, for everyone suspected everyone else, and no one on the Green Meadows was happy. One evening Mr. Meadow Mouse went for a stroll along the Crooked Little Path up the hill. It was dark, very dark indeed. But just as he passed Striped Chipmunk's granary, the place where he stores his supply of corn and acorns for the winter, Mr. Meadow Mouse met his cousin, Mr. Wharf Rat. Now Mr. Wharf Rat was very big and strong, and Mr. Meadow Mouse had for a long time looked up to and admired him. "Good evening, Cousin Meadow Mouse," said Mr. Wharf Rat, swinging a bag down from his shoulder. "Will you do a favor for me?" Now Mr. Meadow Mouse felt very much flattered, and as he was a very obliging fellow